Poland attracts people from all over the world with its scientific base and career development opportunities. I'm Urszula Ożarowska, and here in Poland today we will meet young people who decided that Poland would be their place to live. Today I'm with Michael Koutentakis, Doctor of Medicine and PhD candidate here at Medical University of Warsaw. Hello, Michael. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Ula. Thank you so much for having me, for the invitation and your kindness. It means a lot to me. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to be with you all.
Since how long are you here in Poland, in Warsaw?
I've been in Warsaw specifically for the past 6 years. So I started studying here in Warsaw, specifically at WUM, Warszawski Uniwersytet Medyczny, and then I continued my path through PhD.
And how did it happen that you ended up here? Was it like a plan that you had, an inspiration? How did it happen?
That is a very good question. Excellent, I'd say. So what happened was basically I had a friend. She graduated from Jagiellonian University in Kraków. She was studying medicine as well. And we got into catching up and everything, and she told me that technology-wise, Poland is a bit better than Greece, because I was born and raised in Greece, and therefore I did not have all the opportunities in the world that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And she told me technology-wise, Poland is better. They have some robotics, surgery is also great, so you gotta go there. You gotta, experience. I started from Italy in general. So I was thinking more of Italy, and I wanted to go there and experience everything and discover. But I realized that I do not want to be there, permanently, and I did not want to make it a permanent stay, let's say. So yes, I wanted to discover something else, something I've never seen, and you might judge me, but I did not know about Poland in the beginning. I was not aware of its cities and everything. And then I decided, I'm going to take my family. I'm going to go on a trip, and we got the first flight, and literally the first flight, and we went to Kraków. We started from Kraków, and I saw that everything is beautiful, and I fell in love with the city, of course. It's all center and town and everything. But then, long story short, I ended up in Warsaw because I fell in love with this city more. After Kraków, I traveled more. I went to Warsaw, and I saw that this is the city that serves me the most.
And do you remember your first impressions? Maybe the temperature was different here? I don't know.
I remember the temperature in my body, not just the city, because I was ill most of the time. When I first arrived in Warsaw, I remember I developed a temperature of 40 for the first time in my life, and I still remember that. This is in my head right now. And very cold, of course. If we want to compare to Greece, Poland is not to be comparable, I think, because it's just very cold, and everything can happen here. Mm-hmm. Every single thing. It can go up, it can go down, and this is the most beautiful, I think, here. And I'm not a sun person. I was never a sun person, so this
really?
is yes.
And
yeah.
you're from Greece,
and I'm from Greece. Yes, sun kindly pisses me off sometimes. So I do think the cold is better for me. Yes. So yeah.
Can I ask where exactly in Greece are you from?
Yes, I am from a city called Chalkida. Some people call it Chalcis as well. It's 45 minutes away from Athens, so it's not really that far for us. This is close. You just get your car, you travel to Athens, you go anywhere you want. So my city is popular for its waters. It's the only city in probably Europe, I'm not sure, I'm not going to say that, but that has the crazy water. So instead of, the water is going the direction they're supposed to go, they go to the opposite direction. Mm. Yes, and if you search about it, you will learn a lot. Actually, this is because of the tide, of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Chalkida, I think it's rather a smaller city, right? How was the change between this city to Warsaw, which is, I think, bigger, I don't know, more crowded, more lively?
That's exactly what it is. And Halkida, it is smaller, of course. It is not, Dubai. It is not New York. It is not like that. It's a city. It is also not a village. Yes, it's somewhere in between, but it's not that big. So I did have this, I was a bit homesick when I first came to Warsaw. I was missing my family. I was missing my city, my friends and everything. But this is where I told myself that you gotta grow up, and to grow up, you need to go a bit higher. You wanna change your level and the stage that you are right now, because you are getting used to a specific way of living. You may like or you may not like that specific way of living, and you gotta go on either way. This is what I think. It is smaller, Halkida, but it's also very beautiful. I never compared my city in Greece to Warsaw, because these two things are just two different things.
We told something about differences between Poland and Greece in terms of, I don't know weather, but in terms of education, educational system. How do you find the difference between Poland and Greece?
One of the most difficult, I'd say, things I've done in Greece was my high school. Because in Europe especially, high schools and primary schools are not very easygoing. They're a bit stricter, as I assume you know already. So we started from there, yes, the high school and everything, but from educational point of view, when it comes to like a higher degree education, I'd say that we have wonderful doctors in Greece. I do know that for a fact, and I do support all of them. In fact, I actually work with a lot of them, even online sometimes, in terms of research. And I see how kind and genuine they are. And this is what I appreciate the most, actually, because I think whatever you are, we are all human beings. If you gotta have this kindness in your soul, whatever you are. And I know that your days might be hard. I don't know, they might be easy, but kindness always leads to something very good. So education, it is, studying, it is reading, it is writing, it is research, academics, science, so on and so forth. But it's also more than that. It's the person that's in front of you and the person you're talking to. This is what education is for me. And in terms now of Poland gives you a lot more opportunities, especially for a person that wants to go abroad. Yes, I decided to go abroad. So I did not want to experience any other education in Greece. That was my choice. I decided I'm going to go to Poland. I've heard the best things, technology-wise or everything, really. And I fell in love with the city already. I decided to go abroad. I'm ready, It gave me more opportunities than I believe it would. And this is what I say to people from the very, very beginning, from the first day I stepped foot, really, that just try, keep going, and it will give you the opportunities. You will find your mentor, you will do your thing, and everything will be fine, because it has a lot of things to give, a lot. But you have to not give up. If you give up, well, it doesn't work that way, actually. So you fell the 7 times and you stand up the 8 times. So it always works like this. You gotta do this. You gotta try more and more to get the opportunities. Poland itself will give you the opportunities, and the life and everything, a life in your heart is so big, really. But you also gotta try,
You said about mentors. Did you find here with Polish people, with your maybe things, with people and at academia, some inspirations for you, like for the future? Did you find?
Absolutely. I've been through a very big journey in my life. It's an odyssey, really. I don't know where to start from, So this all started from my third year. My third year, I had an incredible mentor, Dr. Gonsetska Alexandra. So she's an incredible cardiologist. And she helped me a lot to write my first paper. I was always into academics and science. And, I wanted to go a bit higher always. I'm very ambitious and I'm not shy or embarrassed to say that. And she helped me write my first paper. We published my first paper. And this is how my life actually started. Yes, first year was hard. We had anatomy, we had histology, the two major, also Polish classes, the three major classes that made it difficult, but you had to pass through that and go on. I went on, and then COVID hit, yes, and my second year was a bit harder with COVID and everything, but I never complained. Because when you complain, this is where the problem comes, actually, from my experience. Then from the third year, I started writing. I published my first paper. Very happy about it. But I am that kind of person that I don't really get excited that much. I publish 5 minutes happiness. I say, you have to keep going like this, Okay, excitement is fine, but we gotta keep going because life is hard, but life is also very beautiful and you gotta experience the whole thing. So this is how my life went, and then I focused a lot on studying. Of course, you always have the failures, you have the achievements, happiness, the sadness, you have everything in life because this is what life is. But I went on, as I told you, and one goal I had in mind: never forget why I started and never forget why I'm so kind. And I think my kindness primarily starts with my family, with those incredible parents that I have. So I think this is mostly it. I think we have some time to talk about it as well for, the further academics, how I developed it and everything.
Yeah, and now you're really big into research. I think you publish a lot, right? Your papers. And what are the main areas, your main focuses in that?
That's a very good question, and I did expect this question. So you did mention I'm a PhD candidate student at the moment. I thought to myself that I am going to graduate and then imposter syndrome hit up. This is a classic for medical graduates especially. It did hit me up. And what happened, I said to myself, we do not have a lot of time. If you want to teach and if you want to do whatever you want to do in your life, you got to start the PhD at some point, because this is actually what I always wanted. I really wanted to become a surgeon scientist specifically, but I cannot survive without science. At the same time, I cannot survive without surgery. This is me. So this is, of course, after a lot of experience with medical specialties, yes. So I went through every single specialty and I said, general surgery, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to help. I want to see the pathology. I want to see the immediate outcome from the patients and everything. It's beautiful, the satisfaction and everything. When it comes to the papers now in the academics, I started my PhD in September, October at the Medical University of Warsaw again. Now under the supervision of two other incredible mentors that I have, docent Zeren Eileten and Professor Marek Postuła. So incredible people. Wonderful souls, really. And these were my mentors for many years, actually. After my first paper got published, I started working with them immediately in the lab and everything. And this is how I got to meet them. So they became my mentors also for my PhD. They accepted me, and we're still working on it, of course. And we are working mostly on metabolic physiology, sports medicine, and genetics at the same time. I cannot reveal my topic yet because this is a surprise for all of you. But this is something I really love. And I love talking about people suffering and people with obesity, as we say, bariatrics when it comes to surgery. This is, I think, something that really interests me. And this is how I started talking about the metabolic physiology in general. So if we had a topic to choose, we would say that metabolic physiology and genetics.
But all these topics, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but they include also a big part of like educational things in that. With you thought about obesity, like all this stuff also need a educational aspect to it. Are you open to be also an educator?
Yes, this is my goal. This is my purpose in life. I do believe that. I started just, I don't like say, I am teaching somebody, I am doing this to somebody. No, I never said that actually. That's why I cannot call myself a teacher thing. But I say that I educate people globally. And when I say globally, I say I wasn't a part of one organization. It has been 25 organizations in total in my life from my first year of medicine. It's a lot, but I didn't see it as a lot. You know, you get the ambition, and when you get the ambition, you cannot really control yourself sometimes. The most important, I started with workshops, suturing workshops mostly from my time in medicine. Of course, this is an opportunity that was given to me by my teachers, yes, by my professors, my incredible professors. They told me how to do this. They told me, Michael, you're not good at this, but you gotta get good at this. You know, you gotta do it. You gotta keep trying. You gotta keep practicing. It's not like you walk up the next day and you're fine. You know, you're an educator now. No. You gotta teach them young, you gotta teach the next generations to be an educator. You need to be kind, but also strict. You need to adjust, and you need to also adapt to a lot of situations at the same time. You need to be able to answer questions, but to do all this, you need to understand your topic. You need to be able to understand your topic, and you need to be able to be happy, to be able to answer all the questions, meaning that if you understand your topic, you're happy to answer questions because, yes, we do have educators, and we are in 2026. We're not afraid to say that anymore. We have educators that they don't like their job, and this is okay. Everybody does whatever they want to do, but I'm just saying that not everybody has the same kindness in their heart, is willing to educate, is willing to show somebody something, So education is my personality because I want to speak out loud. I want to speak out. I want to advocate. I want to educate. I want to educate also surgically right now. Yes, because this is the thing I'm most interested in. I want to show the world what they haven't seen, how we assess surgical skills for for each doctor, how we educate the next generation, because this is very important. So you always need a next generation leader. Yes, in your life, whatever you do, it's not only medicine, right? And I hope I'm going to be that strong and the same person with the same, behavior in the future. And I'm going to be so blessed that God is going to give me this, gift in my life. God for me, because I am, personally, I'm a believer. So I do like that. It gives me strength. And I do hope I'm going to be an educator one day and a surgeon at the same time. That would be the happiness with me, helping people. That would be the most beautiful thing.
It's really like a beautiful things hearing like from you, all this. But I wanted also to ask more about, you said also being an advocate, you are also active in organizations, also in student governments, right? What was the inspiration from you coming to this, like all the activities?
I see that you've read about me, and I really like that. Thank you.
I've done my research, yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, really. It means a lot. So I started from my second year. I started joining all the initiatives and organizations that Medical University of Warsaw gave me, because it's all about that, really, the opportunities that you get. We already have established 30, 35 organizations at the university. So this is actually a lot of organizations. When we see organizations, we also call them, right, like slash clubs. We call them clubs because these are scientific clubs, they are suturing clubs, workshop clubs, and stuff like that. So I started joining in the beginning, and I joined around 20, but this is not an exaggeration. I really did, because I wanted the experience and I wanted to know what I'm gonna do with my life. What is my, the actual specialty that I have to follow, because it's actually hard to know in medicine. Some people do, some other people don't. And this is what I did. I joined the 20 organizations. I did learn things, but also I did not learn a lot of things that I wanted to learn. Then I started, during my 4th year, I started going away from these organizations, and I started gaining experience from global organizations. So I joined something we call Incision Global. If you guys see me, hello. Incision Global, I became the director of education there. Education everywhere. And I was very happy to do that. Actually, I was responsible for 15 people in one group, and then more globally went into a more global perspective, and different time zones. That was the most, the challenge, the hurdle, I'd say, the different time zones that all people have, and we have to, organize so many meetings and seminars. After that, I started joining another organizations and very interesting things, but I'm going to talk about a specific organization we call TROGS, the Robotic Surgical Global Society. This is the one. This is the one that grew in me, that made me grow up as a person, and it made me develop, actually. This is where robotics got into my head, and I was very interested in that, because this is really the future. It is the now, more like it, and we have to actually advance ourselves with the technology, yes. And this is how I developed myself more into, through this organization, through the mentors, because I also have some mentors there. Wonderful Professor Rodolfo Oviedo, such a wonderful soul and a beautiful person, and this is why I'm saying that I'm going to talk about surgery right now, because having a team is the most important thing. We always compete with one another in all of the organizations, in all of the clubs. We do not see clearly most of the times. We are tired, we are fatigued. And imagine, I'm not a practicing surgeon yet, yes, God bless, but we are like that. We do compete a lot. We need to see the kindness somewhere. We need to see the team somewhere, building. And this is what this organization gives me. And it gives me the opportunity to travel to the US a lot of times and present at conferences. In fact, I'm going this week, actually on Saturday again, and this makes me very happy. It fills my soul. That's what I want to say. So I did learn a lot of things from the organizations. I would say to people, it's an advice to everyone, of course, that yes, you learn, but you also got to rely more on yourself. Don't listen to everybody. Don't always listen to people. Don't. Just listen to yourself, because life is really hard, and you need yourself more than you need anybody else. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer, of course, but do have friends, do have a personal life, which I did not. I started having a personal life after my 5th year of medicine, which is a bit late, as you can imagine. But, you need to also focus, and you need to learn, and you need to study. You need to be able to know what you're doing with your patients and how you treat them and in what way.
Finishing now, I just have one more thing to say, to make it more loud. I know you are a laureate of the Interstudent Prize for the best foreign student in Poland. How did you feel when you received this prize? It is a really, I think it's a really big award, right?
You make me happy with this question. I think you just made my day. Yes. This is a topic that I get very excited talking about, because it's not about the award, and I know this is such a cliche, but it really wasn't. I gained this special prize, and all of this, I was so honored by this, recognition. I will call it recognition, whether it's an award or not. I did not realize that it's a big thing until I was in Gdańsk, standing there. I think this is a very emotional topic because when I got that award, everybody supported me. My family was right there with me. They traveled and they surprised me all the way, and they made me so happy. We stayed together, they were holding my hand. They said, family is a big thing for me. So they told me, it will be amazing. You did it, you did it because you are expecting things all these years. Throughout all these years, you're expecting things in your life. You want things to pay off. And I really want things to pay off, but I'm also praying for it, yes, or I'm acting on it as well. They were there. And when I went to Gdańsk to receive this award along with other people, there was some beautiful music playing, to calm us down. We were all so stressed. But I'm going to be honest with you, I had prepared a speech. I was so happy I'm going to be wise and everything, but I just realized last minute, forget about the speech 1 second, like a bit of second, forget about the speech, forget about the wise words, forget about everything. You're wise, you don't need anything. Go naturally. I went onto the stage, I was shaking, my friend. I was shaking. I was getting chills and everything. I don't know, maybe fever even. But I was so happy, so excited, and I burst into tears at the same time. But I burst into tears because I was thinking of my university, mostly, to be honest with you, because if it wasn't for the opportunities, if it wasn't for all the lovely things that have been given to me, for God, if it wasn't for my family, I would never be able to do anything at all. So I do not take things for granted. And whatever happens in my life, I will never take things for granted because this is just how I am. But when I reached the stage, I don't know, I flew, I was a different person. I was somewhere else. I was on cloud 9. And I started talking and being honest about everything. And I'm saying the same thing. I'm going to tell you that believe, and I know it's cliche, but it doesn't matter. Believe, because even when life gets hard, you can wake up and believe and something will change. You just have to do it sometimes, you just have to do it. I cannot survive without being a practitioner, a practicing surgeon. But I wake up, I believe, and I know I will do it one day. Yes, I know. So I said, believe, and I turned to my people, to the other people that received some prize as well, and I told them, we can do it. We can all do it, but I'm saying this with my heart and soul that we can do it. We can do it. Maybe you can say this is from my experience. Yes, I was a child. I'm still a child. Everybody's a child, but we have this inner child in us. But I do like to have this kind of mindset to keep going in my life. And this is how I'd like to be always. We can all do it, and we can start believing in ourselves. We can start believing in life, and everything will be better. Everything will be a better place, really. I do believe that.
That's a really beautiful message for the ending. Thank you so much. With me on Poland Today was Michael Koutentakis. Thank you so much for the talk.